Hello. I'm sure most of the YouTube woodworkers, or at least a lot of them, have been watching and following April Wilkerson in the building of her wonderful 70 by 35 by 12 foot shop space we all would love to have. Interesting thing is the way she is heating and cooling it. But I get ahead of myself. Let me start out with, we built this house, we insulated the garage with the intent of using it as a workshop only. It was cold in the winter, it was hot and muggy in the summer. So I started out by putting a window in, you barely see it over there, and adding a window heat pump. That worked okay, but when you turn it off at night, the cast iron, all the cast iron is going to get cold, the floor gets cold. It barely kept up. We still had to use a torpedo heater to warm up the shop initially and then run that. So after that, I went and got a floor model with greater BTUs, both hot and cold. Still didn't do the job. Had to use a torpedo heater again to bring the shop up to some kind of temperature, and then that would carry on from there. Barely. And running torpedo heaters, well, you've got the CO2, whatever, but you've also got the fact that combustion creates moisture. Moisture gets in the shop, gets on your tools. Never really saw a problem with it, but it could be a problem. So let me show you what we did about 3 years ago for this shop to heat it. And to start out that story, I emailed my HVAC guy that works in the house, and I said, give me an estimate. We decided, let's just put a heater in, so at least be warm in the winter. So I emailed the HVAC guy and I said, hey, do me a favor and give me a quote on putting in a sealed burner gas heater up in the corner of my shop that'll keep the place warm in the winter. We'll suffer through the hot summers. And I got a quote back in email, and I was rather shocked by what I saw. It had the heater, it had the thimble to go through the wall, and a price, $4,000. No price on the heater, no price on the thimble. But the part numbers were there and the manufacturer, so I looked them up. The heater was $800. The thimble was a $280 thimble, industrial strength. All I needed was a hairy homeowner thimble or domestic thimble to go through the wall, so that would have been about $180. So we're looking at maybe $1,000 total to put the whole thing in, plus some labor. So I called them up and I said, hey, okay, I've priced out these parts and it's about $1,000. Why is the estimate for $4,000? There's no breakdown for anything else. She said, let me ask him. She asked the guy, I won't mention his name. He said, the heater cost $2,000. I said, no, you gave me the part number. I looked it up. I can have it drop shipped to my house for $800. And the thimble's about $180. So what's the deal? Well, that's the cost. Okay. So that went in the recycling bin. I did what any modern American would do, a modern person would do. I hit Google. Started looking around for companies locally that could do this. I found a company. If you want the name of that company and live in Southern Maryland, email me and I'll give it to you. They came in and did an estimate to put a gas heater in here. And it was about $1,200. But they said, no, wait a minute. Why don't you heat and air condition it too? Okay. Put in Minisplit. Yes, I've seen Minisplits before. I'm not a fan of heat pumps, not from the past. So it's a CR24. We can put one in here that'll heat and cool the space since it's air conditioned. Since it's insulated, it'll heat and cool the space, and you have comfort all year round. So we worked up an estimate, and to get heat, AC, dehumidification, and all that good stuff that goes with it was $3,400. So for $600 less than what he wanted to put a gas heater in, the other guy, I got a Minisplit. So let me show you the Minisplit I got and how it works. So here's the inside unit. And when I back out, you see how small that actually looks. It's not huge. Tiny little thing. And you probably hear it in the background running right now. That's the inside unit, and it runs by remote control. So here's the remote control unit, real simple, like any other remote control. It also has the thermostat for the unit, so it keeps the room at the temperature you set. Control everything from here, fan, cool, dehumidify, heat. You can set a timer, on-off times. You can set the vane movement. It's everything you'd ever want. And this is a 20 by 22 by 11 foot space. And that little tiny unit takes care of it all. Keeps everything, even the floor gets warm. So let me show you the outside unit now. This is the side of the garage, recycling bin, trash bin, outside unit, tiny little thing. And it's whisper quiet. It makes no noise at all. As the inside unit is very quiet as well. Mitsubishi Electric, of course, that's like the 100-pound gorilla in the room, 800-pound gorilla in the room. It works great. It does everything we want to do. I hardly even notice anything on my electric bill. So that's it. That's the system we got. For less than the price of putting in the seal burner heater, we got everything, heat, AC, and the whole shooting match. Now, story about installation. They installed it on a 54-degree day. The garage doors were open that whole time, so everything in the shop got thermally soaked to 54 degrees. And it was cold. Everything's cold to the touch. And the lead engineer on the installation said, nope, just turn it on, come back in a couple hours. So I turned it on. I came back in a couple hours, and lo and behold, the shop was this temperature I wanted. All of the cast iron was almost at the shop temperature. It wouldn't take much longer to get it there. And so I'm real happy. We're both really, really happy with the system. Yeah, it was a little expensive, but it was well worth it. We can work in the shop in comfort, summer and winter. But wait, there's more. The workshop got a Christmas present. Occasionally, we buy Christmas presents for the shop. Well, of course, they're for us, but it's for the shop. Let me show you that. So this is the Christmas present. It's an Hitachi 12-inch dual compound slider with the motor assembly and everything sliding on metal bars that are facing this way. It does not push bars against the wall, so it's more compact. Takes up less space. Now, our chop saw has been in this area on a mobile table forever. But Jay Bates has inspired me to build a storage wall against the wall behind the camera. This will incorporate the chop saw and the drill press, and that's coming down the road. Until then, see you later. Make good stuff out of wood.